righty. Yo. What's good, people? What's popping? It is Rashad. It's Dave from Panther Nation Podcast. And today we got a special guest. We got Derek from Bring the Juice Podcast, which is a Colts podcaster. You know, we saw the teams decide to link up for a joint practice. So we said, hey, why not? Let's go ahead and link up with the Colts podcaster and do our own joint preview for the game. So, Derek, how's it going? I saw you vibing to our intro music, too. You like that, right?
Yeah, that was good, man. I was vibing with that intro, man. I really liked it.
That's what's up. How's it going, brother?
Oh, man, it's going great, you know. Can't complain. Just ready for some football to get started.
That's what's up. All right, so we are on a little bit of a time crunch. This is only going to last for about 30 minutes just to kind of give you guys a heads up. We're not going to stay too long. We just want to get a little bit of a brief intel and what the Colts are doing and what to expect for week one of the preseason. We got the game coming up on Sunday, 1:00, and we all juiced up. No pun intended. We all juiced up and ready to go. So let's go ahead and get into it. Derek, I want to get your opinion. 2 joint practices are in the books, bro. I want to get your thoughts on the joint practices.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, it's definitely some good and bad on both sides. You know, I mean, the Colts secondary, you know, had a few struggles the first joint practice, but it sounded like today, you know, Kenny Moore and a couple of those boys definitely had some good defensive plays against you guys. And obviously your defensive line, especially, has just been destroying our backups. I mean, for the most part, Indianapolis has not had the majority of their starting offensive line out there because the majority of them are injured. So, you know, we haven't really had a lot of guys get much of that in yet, but, you know, Brian Burns destroying whoever we have at left tackle at this point. I really don't even know. But we saw, obviously, Jonathan Taylor getting a few runs. And, you know, the backup quarterbacks are really the guys that have been, you know, getting the majority of the snaps, heard some good throws, some not some great throws, a couple of sacks here and there, which I kind of anticipated. But all in all, you know, it was good to see Indianapolis getting a few things that they wanted on offense, a few things they wanted on defense. I know George Odom yesterday picked off Will Grier, which is great to see. You know, a couple interceptions there, which is great. So,
no
you know, it's good to see him all doing
by the way. No surprise throwing from Will Grier. We that's pretty much part of the course. Okay, so we know how Will Grier gets down. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
so real quick,
you got that right.
You kind of brushed on these injuries. Talk a little bit about what the Colts have going on. And I know it's a lot. I was doing some research. I'm like, dude, you guys have experienced a ton of injuries. So real quick, go ahead and kind of run it down off the top of your head. You don't have to give us an exact from what you can remember. Let us know about these injuries, bro.
I feel like the 49ers and the Eagles from last year. I mean, Carson Wentz is down currently.
But that's expected. That's expected.
They anticipate him being back week 1, week 2 of the regular season, so we don't anticipate him missing much time. Quentin Nelson, the same way, ironically enough, had the same injury as Carson Wentz, had to have the same surgery with the same doctor, the same like a day later. So Quentin Nelson expected to be back for the season opener, though. Ryan Kelly out for another week or 2, so we didn't get to see him here at all either. Our left tackle position, Eric Fisher, he's been injured since January, ruptured his Achilles, so they're working on that. Should be back soon, though. And then, you know, you're looking at some of these other injuries. Our backup center, Danny Pinter, got injured yesterday and was on crutches today. So, you know, we're down to our 3rd string center at this point. Kwity Paye, who we drafted in the draft the first round, he got injured a few days ago in the practice before you guys came into town. It's nothing serious, but it's still keeping him out. DeForest Buckner, our best defensive player that a lot of people would argue, you know, he had an injury like last week, but they said it wasn't serious, but they're not rushing him back at all. They are not going to take any chances with him. Darius Leonard just coming back from an injury. Julian Blackmon, our safety that we drafted 2 years ago, he's back finally. You know, just, and not to mention, you know, all the defensive guys that are injured currently too. Dio Adangbo, who we also drafted in the 2nd round, he's not expected to play for the majority of the season. Crazy. So, you know, just the injuries just keep piling up, man. It's getting to the point where the Colts fans are petitioning for the Colts to move away from the practice field that they're on and get to a new location because they think the field's cursed.
It's jinxed. Got to get away from the field. That's funny. That's pretty funny. All right. So let's talk about a couple players because it's been all the buzz. Okay,
Yep.
Michael Strawn, who is a guy that we do draft content over here. So if you're a Colts fan, you may want to subscribe to your boys. So we do a lot of draft content, and Michael Strawn was a guy that I really, really liked coming out of college. This is a guy that tore it up. He's a track guy, speed, and he's all the buzz. This dude, he's kind of tore up J.C. Horn, which is our number one first round pick, 8th overall in one-on-ones. Okay, so give me your thoughts on Michael Strawn so far.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the couple times he put JC Horn on skates was definitely really good. I don't really like to look too much into the one-on-ones though, because football is never one-on-ones. You know, there's always different guys, and it's always favoring the offensive player when you're one-on-ones with somebody. It always is. So, but Strawn, I mean, throughout the whole preseason so far has just been phenomenal. The local media has been saying every day this kid is making at least one play that makes you sit back and just go, wow. I mean, there's been multiple times our best corner, or one of our best corners, Xavier Rhodes, he's made a couple contested one-handed catches on him in the end zone the last couple of days. So, you know, he's been lighting it up, dude. And I'm amazed by him because I knew he had the size. I knew he was 6'5" and 225 pounds. So obviously knew he was big, but I didn't realize how shifty and how fast he was getting wheels, off the edge. So he's got it, dude. And right now, I mean, he's if the preseason ended right now, then Michael Strawn would definitely be making this roster. And that's quite the shocker given where he was drafted at. But I mean, keep this up in the preseason. He's definitely securing a roster spot.
Let me tell you this from a guy that we just released a highly touted undrafted free agent by the name of David Moore. And we released him, ended up getting picked up by the Jets. Okay. So from experience, if you release Michael Strawn, there's no chance he's making it back to your practice squad. So
no way.
You better keep him on. You better keep him on the roster. Hope he makes it 53 because he ain't making it back to y'all. The dude's talented. All right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot going on with practice. Even from our perspective, I mean, we have some ups and downs. I think we got a little caught off guard. And this is speaking to the Colts fans that may watch this. I think we got a little caught off guard with the joint practice. This is our first joint practice in a long time. I think we haven't had one since Ron Rivera was our coach. First joint practice under Matt Rule. And I think we got punched in the mouth yesterday. And all the buzz was that, hey, we were a little disappointed in our practice. I think we got, like I said, we got punched in the mouth, and which is good. I think it's a good thing. Today, a little bit different story. The guys are much more confident about the practices. Again, I've been to about 92% of Panthers training camp practices, so I know how they are. And I can tell you the practice before they went out there was very, very lackluster. They were shorts and just jerseys, no pads, no shells. It was very lackluster. So I think they got punched in the mouth, and I think it was needed on Thursday. And then today they came out with a little bit more energy. They're a little bit more, you know, and there was a lot of fights. Did you hear about the fights today?
Yeah, I've been hearing about the scruffles. I heard running backs getting hit. So
I heard there was a big fighting game championships going on at Colts practice today. I heard that you had all the professional players. They were out here playing Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Guilty Gear, Smash Brothers. They were hitting the gauntlet today, from what I understand.
Hey, I mean, that's the thing, you know, when you start amping up the practice routine, you know, that's what's going to happen. You know, guys start picking it up a little bit, and, you know, and the Colts, you know, that's what happened is the Colts before these joint practices, you know, the week prior, they were getting pads on. They were used to that. And maybe the Panthers just weren't. And then the Colts just were more ready for day one. But then day two, they decided to come out with the same energy, and you know, it's two teams clashing right there. You like to see it. You like to see it.
Yeah, I love to see it personally because, like you're saying, I mean, we did come out with pads the week prior up until I think Tuesday. Tuesday was the last day of practice we had before, and then we had Fan Fest on Saturday, so there was no pads there, and so we kind of came into this a little bit on the. All right, we hadn't had pads in a couple of weeks. We were a little light on our feet. We got punched in the mouth. And I think we needed that, right? And I think it was a completely different energy today. And I love it. I love the fights. I love J.C. Horn is a dog, right? He's going to invite that energy. Always going to be scuffles with him. And that's just the nature of who he is. And I just love that because we're a young team, right? We're a super, super young team. I think we had the second youngest roster in the league. So it's good to see those guys step up and fight for themselves, right?
Yeah, isn't your defense like completely overloaded with young guys at this point?
Oh, yeah,
didn't y'all
man.
draft nothing but defense like last year or something?
Yep.
Like, yeah.
All defense. So the draft last year was all defense. This year, still some young guys, J.C. Horn, obviously. But it's we've got a couple veterans. We brought in Denzel Perryman, who is injured. He's not playing. He wasn't at the practice. But we got Daquan Jones from the Titans. He's a veteran. But all these guys are they're like 28. They're like really young guys. And so I feel like we really needed that. We really needed that punch in the mouth yesterday. A little bit better today, and I'm happy for that. So let's go ahead and jump into the game on Sunday. Right, we play Sunday again at 1:00, and it will be live streamed.
Only game on television. Only game going down on Sunday. We're pretty much the prime time game for Sunday to get y'all back in that rhythm for Sunday. The chaos happens tomorrow. So we the only game in town on Sunday.
Right. Facts. So that being said, again, you can watch the game. Dave and I will be doing a play-by-play live. So if you want to drop back in, you can come. We'll be doing it play-by-play, kind of giving our live reaction. But let's go ahead and get into it because it was announced today by Coach Rule. No ones, Dave. No ones will be playing, bro. How do you feel about that, Dave?
I just want to ask a simple question for the people in the audience. We got about 100 people watching. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe and keep it moving. But I want to ask a question. Did Teddy Bridgewater play in his first preseason game?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I think he did. I think he played a series.
A series does nothing for you at that point.
But my thing is like I felt like they have been protecting this man this entire way. They've been protecting Samuel Darnold this entire way. And I think considering that this is his first year on the team, after what happened to him with the Jets, he probably should play a couple series. I don't agree with the call. So now you're going to bring that man. So he pretty much said, they're definitely playing the second preseason game. So you're going to bring that man at home against the Ravens.
Well, he said he doesn't know about the second. He said third for sure. He will be playing the third preseason game.
Yeah, I don't know why
that's
you do
very
that.
backwards.
I mean, you're in a completely new system. I mean, it sucks too because for somebody, and that's the thing. The Colts had Phillip Rivers last year, who obviously is a veteran, but it took Phillip Rivers 6 weeks to finally be able to learn how to deal with these guys because all he had was training camp. That's what you're getting now. You're getting the chances to actually be with your guys. You're getting to do training camp. And now you have preseason action. It doesn't have to be a lot, but a couple series every game really does go a long way for just a guy like Sam Darnold.
My biggest fear right now is that we're gonna show up in week 1 against the Jets acting like it's a preseason game. And now, granted, we could be disrespectful to the Jets and then say, oh, well, they're not that good of a team. But that's the type of thing that's going to bite us in the ass. Like, we got to play our ones, bro. And I think it's a good opportunity to go against you guys because I respect the hell out of y'all defense. So I think it's very important.
Appreciate it.
So I think it's very important for us, for Sam Darnold to get that opportunity, for that offensive line to get that opportunity, and you making a decision not play the ones, I don't agree with it.
I know.
I don't agree with it at all.
Some, like a series or two, or if you're not going to do it in the first game, do it in the second game for sure. You absolutely need to do that. But I'll say this, going against the Jets, just off on a quick tangent here, if Zach Wilson is anything like what they've been saying he looks like in training camp, y'all are going to whoop him by 40. I'm just saying. Zach Wilson has been bad.
And that's fine. And, dude, I need to continue because it looks like we might be bad, too, because we out here deciding to sit our guys.
Y'all be fine. Y'all got a sneaky, really good roster. CMC gonna be back. Gonna be the safety blanket for Sam Darnold and that Anderson fellow, one of the best wide receivers in the game right now. That's not getting talked about. And I love DJ Moore. DJ Moore consistently putting up great numbers that nobody talks about either. And then that defense being so young.
But it goes back to the chemistry discussion, right? Like, I think you got to have those live reps in these games. If you out here making a decision not play your ones, I'm nervous about it, bro.
And you know what? Oh, go ahead, Dave. My fault.
Nah, so my thing is that I'm not trying. I don't want to put it all on Rule, but at the same time, bro, like, you got a new quarterback. You got to gain that chemistry with your wide receivers with the said new quarterback. Now Sam and Robbie might be fine, but DJ Moore still got to gain that chemistry. Dan Arnold still need to continue that good chemistry. McCaffrey, the whole nine. We need to have more reps. That's what I'm nervous about. He needs the reps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't agree with I get it. I understand you want to protect the players, and I get that. But these guys need reps, bro. I get you can't predict injuries. You can't play scared. Like, you have to get these guys reps.
The fear of injuries this year is just overtaking everybody, man.
Right,
everyone.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
So like I said, I get it. I understand why you don't want to play him, but at the end of the day, I feel like you need to play Sam Darnold. He needs as many reps as possible with Christian McCaffrey, with these weapons that you speak of. We all know it's great on paper, but our offensive line, bro, that's one thing. Because you talk about, our defense, going up against we have a starting offensive line with a bunch of backups, essentially. And we've been getting dominated by you guys' pass rush. And I'm nervous about that. And I feel like if anybody needs a start, it needs to be that offensive line. I need to see Cam Irving out there. I need to see Matt Paradis out there. I need to see John Miller out there. I need to see Pat Eflin. I need to see Taylor Moton. Well, I don't need to see him. I know he's great.
You don't need to see
I need to see them as a collective go up against I don't know if you guys did they announce whether you guys were your starters were playing or not?
Yeah, they said that a fair amount of the starters will not play. They said a couple here and there, like a couple different spots. I think, the defensive line for us will probably play a few snaps to start out. Probably not DeForest Buckner or Grover Stewart in the middle, but some of those young defensive ends that need reps to kind of help out, and, some of the wide receivers and maybe a couple of the secondary guys. But other than that, I mean, not a huge chunk are playing.
Yeah. All right. So the chat is killing me right now. So you know what? I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be fair to the people. I'm going to be fair to y'all. I'll step back, not say anything else about the fact that the starters aren't playing. Now, on a caveat, if they don't play the second game, we're going to have a different discussion. I need to see them against the defense, bro. I do. And I think we're blowing an opportunity with this, but I'll let it be. The line definitely needs to play.
The line should be starting, bro, because I'm telling y'all keep – all right, I digress. I was on ESPN Upstate, and I laid into the offensive line, right? I gave it to him, and you guys know how I am about the offensive line. If you're a listener of PNP, you know how we get down. But the game is won and lost in the trenches. If you can't, Sam Darnold has arguably gone from a bad offensive line to a worse offensive line, given what we have. And so, I think Sam Darnold needs those reps with the offensive line. I would like to see that. But I understand it, too. You kind of want to protect them. I get it. But that offensive line needs the reps together.
The line.
You'll just need one player to fix your entire offensive line, and that's Big Q. Big Q fixed that offensive line just like that. He did it for the Colts in 2018, man. He did it for them in 2018. So
you know who our guy was, you know who they thought our guy was gonna be? Greg Little.
Gotcha. I mean, I know we got your was it Chris Reed? Chris Reed, your guys' left guard from last year. He's one of the backups. He'll be playing quite a few snaps.
But guess what? Guess what? He wasn't a backup for us. He was starting.
Yeah,
bro.
He was starting for you.
That's the problem.
Games last year.
The problem.
That's the problem. I mean, yeah,
that is the problem. We have backups starting. We look at these guys that we can rehab them, and that's part of the problem with the Panthers. It's been a problem pre-Matt Rule, right? It's been a problem pre-Matt Rule. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. The offensive line is a little banged up. It's a little banged up. So I don't know. Maybe that could be the case, but that's the problem with this offensive line. But okay, so back to the outside of the offensive line. Yep. Outside of the offensive line, what are the Colts? What are you guys looking for from what is being presented to you on Sunday?
Well, I mean, it has to be the quarterback play is the number one thing for all of us because, now with Wentz unlikely to really, maybe he might not play week 1 or week 2. It just depends at this point in time. But right now you got two quarterbacks sitting on your roster right now who both don't have any NFL experience whatsoever. Jacob Eason, who presumably is the starting quarterback until Wentz arrives, is going to be your guy. And, he was drafted last year and didn't get any NFL action. And because of COVID, There was no preseason games, so he had no chances there. Didn't get to play during any of the games. So, he really didn't get much of a shot. And this Sunday is going to be his first true NFL action game time experience. And I'm interested to see it because, this guy played 13 games in college. Started 13 games in college. So he is very inexperienced, doesn't have a lot of game time to him. And, the third quarterback, Sam Ehlinger, he has almost 3 times the amount of experience as Jacob Eason does because he was a 4-year starter at Texas. So, and Ellinger's been looking really good too in training camp from the looks of it. And there's a lot of people that have been saying that maybe he should jump Eason when it comes to being the second quarterback on the roster. So, I'm really excited to see just what they're able to do against a young, fast defense like the Panthers got. It's going to be a true test for him, and I'm excited to see what he does.
Yep. So, Dave, I'm going to shoot to you, bro. Dave, speaking on behalf of the Panthers, what is the biggest – keeping in mind that the starters aren't playing, what's the biggest thing that the Panthers need to see? Again, keeping in mind we got to cut down to 85, I think, next week. I think it's the 17th where you got to cut down to 85. So what do you think the Panthers need to see on Sunday, bro?
I think the receivers are going to be a thing, man. I think the wide receiver position, I think they're going to try to cut some of that meat off of that wide receiver position. I start the question, I'm interested to see the bottom of that receiver core, because they got to get down to 6 or 7 receivers. And since the starters aren't playing, I think that's the big thing I'm going to be paying attention to. Like your Brandon Zostras, your Omar Bayless, and some of the other low-end guys. CJ Saunders.
Shout out to Mike Rick. CJ Saunders. He's a big CJ Saunders guy.
Saunders.
He's been cooking it up.
I love Saunders, Buckeye boy. I'm a Buckeye fan, so I love seeing a Buckeye succeed. And Saunders, that's great to hear.
Yeah, he's been having a really good camp. Even outside of what he's done at the joint practices, he punts too, which is crazy. We saw him kick the ball at practices, which is crazy. We cut our backup punter, and then the next day you see this dude kicking punt.
That dude trying to make the team, man.
So I was like, what the?
Whatever you gotta do, baby. Whatever you gotta do.
Hey, and he was kicking the shit out of the football too. I was like, holy crap! Like this dude can really punt for real. So that's interesting. Shout out to CJ Saunders, man. Keep an eye on him. But for me, I think the biggest thing for me, I'm gonna be looking at this, the rotational defense. When you look at guys like Marquise Haynes, guys like Christian Miller, I need to see what these guys have because they're on the maybe not Haynes, but guys like Christian Miller, they're on the bubble, bro. I need to see what they got. I also want to see our backup secondary. Okay, what do we have in guys like Keith Taylor and guys like a Troy Pride? I need to see what those guys have, and that's going to be my focus is seeing the backup defense.
Phil Hoskins is going to be interesting. Phil Hoskins is going to be interesting too. Yep. Because a lot of people think he ain't going to make the team because he was a 7th round pick for us. But now the one positive thing about the starters not playing is that now they're going to get to see the bottom of the roster. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a rough life for us, but because we got PJ Walker and Will Greer starting.
Fundamental errors here, but hey,
man.
It breaks down.
I just know when the moment when PJ Walker throws a pick in the red zone, I'm just gonna make a look. I'm just gonna change my face for 30 seconds.
There is a contingent of this fan base that really thinks, and I think that's important too. That's a good look, Dave. I think that's a very important point that we need to figure out having these backups.
Who the hell is our backup?
Because Dave brought up a great point. He's a fantasy guy, but Dave, when he goes into his fantasy bag, he brings up the point that Sam Darnold has not played all 16/17 games, right? Mm-hmm. So who is that backup? Everybody jumps on the PJ Walker train because he won a game last year when Teddy Bridgewater went down. But forget about how lights out that defense played and forget about the 2 red zone interceptions that he threw in that game. That defense played completely lights out, bro. They were on another level, and he threw 2 red zone interceptions. Nobody thinks about that. I got news for you, Panther Nation. We're going to find out on Sunday whether we have a backup quarterback or not. Me, I don't think either one of these guys, Will Grier, PJ Walker, they are not the answer if Sam Darnold goes down.
We're like, there's a reason why Rule for the QB2 put both of them players there. Because he don't even know. He don't have a clue what he got. He don't know.
Hey, Derek,
he's
question.
Gonna find out.
Yeah.
He's gonna find out tomorrow.
Derek, I got a question, bro.
Sunday.
Have you ever seen a depth chart? Right?
No.
With two people in second string.
No.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
I ain't seen a depth chart. When you got it right there, that means they really don't know.
Derek,
exactly.
Derek, go to Panthers.com. Pull up the depth chart. Look at
I'm
pull
it up
right now.
Pull it up right now.
You'll see that shit.
I'm gonna see it right now. I'm gonna pull up the depth chart.
Let me tell you.
And I'll say this because I know how y'all feel. Is Wentz has that same issue. You're talking about Darnold missing games and never being fully healthy for a full season. Wentz kind of has that stigma right now too. So, it's kind of important that the Colts know who their backup is at this point. And you're right. PJ Walker, Will Grier, both at the second quarterback spot. Okay.
And the funny thing is, you would think, oh, well, maybe they might debate on just keeping two, but last year they kept three. So it's like you're gonna, and then even then, but the thing is, even then, they were swapping who was activated and who wasn't activated each game. And then when they had to make a decision on who the starter was going to be, it ended up being Walker when Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. But going back to the injury situation with the quarterbacks, man, like I know you guys have the same thing with Wentz, but it looks like Wentz is going to get back in time. Like from a fantasy perspective, I took him out of my rankings. I might sneak him back in it with the fact that he might be back early. But like I don't even have Sam Darnold ranked in my top 20 because I don't think he's gonna give you enough consistency to do it. And I think Carolina wants to be a more of a pound of rock type of team too. So between those two things, like I think they're gonna leave heavily on their defense. I really do. So
yeah, Colts are kind of be the same way. I mean, it's the same thing with the Colts, pound the rock. We have three different running backs back there that can all run the ball really well behind that top three offensive line when fully healthy. There's very few offensive lines that do it better. And, with the scheming that you can do now with Wentz being a more mobile quarterback than what Phillip Rivers was last year, I just think you're not going to see over the top stats with Carson from a fantasy standpoint or anything. But I just want to see him, be more consistent and just less turnover prone this year. And if he can do that, then the Colts are going to win some games.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's all about staying healthy, right? Health is the best attribute a player can have. So if you're available, that's good. I think the same goes for the Panthers. We want to see a healthy team. I think we had a couple guys go down today. I think Robbie Anderson was getting looked at, and I think a couple other guys are getting looked at. Hopefully it's nothing long term. And again, if the starters aren't playing, then we have nothing to worry about. Maybe that spooked Matt Rule a little bit. Maybe he made that decision on the fly. I don't know.
Sees what the Colts have had happening to him, and then he's just like, nah, I don't want that to be
or he knows the same thing I know about Sam Darnold out here not playing full seasons. So he's just trying to play it safe with him because he want to make sure he's available for week 1.
True, but then again, you goes back to your other argument. You play it safe for too long, and then you don't get acclimated very quickly. It's going to take 6 weeks into the season for him to figure out, how to finally play with these boys.
And the thing is, man, to be honest with you, bro, like the first 4 weeks, all those games are winnable. Every single one of them. We should legitimately start 3-0. So
Colts
like
could legitimately go 0-5 if we wanted to. Our roster, our schedule is rough. Oh my gosh!
We got the Jets, the Saints, and the Texans, and then Dallas. So we can legitimately be 3-1.
3-1 at least.
At least.
Y'all going 3-1 to start.
We ain't gonna go 3-1 if my man ain't got no damn reps.
We gotta face the Seahawks, the Rams, the Tennessee Titans, the Dolphins, and then the freaking Ravens, bro. 5 teams that all legitimately had playoff hopes last year. I mean, almost all of them did make
what I'm hearing? You know what I'm hearing from you, Derek? I'm hearing, we got to get we got to get Carson Wentz back.
Yeah, please. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, I've been saying that all along. You know, I've always said I don't really trust either of these quarterbacks right now because none of them have experience leading an offense. So, but you know, our coach Frank Reich, he's always calm, always collected, saying that you know he has confidence in Eason or Ellinger, whoever it is, to lead this team for a week or two if necessary.
Well,
and
you got to remember, bro, your head coach has a history of coming in as a backup quarterback and pulling comebacks. So I think the guy,
he knows it.
I think the guy has faith in the backups that you guys currently have. Like Matt Rule doesn't have that type of experience, unfortunately.
Yeah, the whole off-season talk, like preseason, of all these big news, ESPN and Fox and all these places saying, "Oh, the Colts are going to trade for a quarterback." It's all BS. They don't understand.
Yeah. Okay. So going back to the game, I know we keep deviating from the game, but let's go back to the game. Give me one player on both sides of the ball that we need to watch and be like, all right, keep an eye on this cat, keep an eye on this dude, and we'll do the same for our roster.
Yeah, I think Michael Strawn is the one that we really need to keep an eye out for. He's the only one that I can really see getting a lot of action because, you know, even though he's not amazing in camp, they want to see him do it in game time action. And I expect the Colts to really target him a lot. You know, Ellinger's been doing it a lot in camp, targeting him quite often in 11-on-11 drills. So I'm excited to see what they got there. And, somebody on the defense, the one guy I would have said one of our linebackers, but I don't believe he's playing on Sunday because he hyperextended his knee the other day. So that ain't going to happen. But I think, I know another one, right? One I didn't mention before. Okay. These things keep getting worse and worse. So the other guy that I think I'll look at on the defensive side is Ben Banigou, defensive end. We drafted him in 2019.
TCU,
you know, hasn't really lived up to expectation yet, but apparently from what I've been saying, what Strawn's been doing on the offensive side, Ben Banigou's just been as equally impressive on the defensive side, getting sacks every single day. So I'm wanting to see if he actually gets one or two on Sunday.
Yes, he's from TCU, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I remember scouting him 2 years ago. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give any Colts fans that are watching, I'm gonna give you two guys that you should keep your eyes out for on Sunday. Okay, they're not gonna be, they're backups, kind of on the roster bubble a little bit. Some Panthers fans may be like they're locks, but I'm gonna give you two guys. All right, first guy is Omar Bayless. Okay, you guys, you feel real confident about Michael Strawn. Okay, we have a guy named Omar Bayless. He's not as big, maybe not as fast, but he was killing shit last year in training camp, went down with an injury, came back this training camp, and continues to dominate. So this guy's having a hell of a training camp, hell of an offseason. So keep an eye out for Omar Bayless on the offensive side. So wide receiver number 17. On the defensive side of the ball, keep an eye. This is for me, Dave. You may differ from this. Keep an eye on a safety named Sean Chandler. This cat has been balling. He's from Temple, a little bit of nepotism on the side of Temple. He knows Matt Rule, but Sean Chandler has been balling out in training camp. Had some couple picks. Had a really good pick on Sam Darnold a couple days ago. So it's really, really good player. So keep an eye on both of those guys. And I keep seeing this question in the chat: is JC Horn playing? I don't know, bro. I don't know.
No, he probably isn't. He's a starter. If he's a starter, he ain't playing.
If he's a starter, he's probably not playing. He probably should play. Being a rookie, I would say he should get some reps, but I don't know. So, Dave, you want to add to that? Anybody else?
Yeah, so I'll give you two offensive players and one guy on the defensive side. And I'm just focusing on the rookies because I'm thinking about the rookies that are definitely going to play. So in my head, Deontay Brown, Brady Christensen. I want to see how they handle the line against the backup defense for the Colts, maybe against the starting defense for the Colts. I'm looking forward to see how they do. So those are the two guys that I'm thinking about on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, I'm curious to see how Davion Nixon goes, how he plays, how Keith Taylor plays. So I want to see how the rookies that are definitely backups are going to play because I think some of them might have a shot to jump in and get in when they fit in, particularly on the offensive line, because that's still not a done deal in my eyes. Like, I think they have their five. They think they know which five it is. But I think if Deontay Brown or Brady Christensen shows out, I think they can sneak up in that starting lineup. I really do.
I agree.
I don't feel like it's a done deal yet. So I want to keep an eye on how these rookies play today. That's why I was so crushed that David Moore got cut before a game, because I feel like there's an opportunity to get in when you fit in on that line, man. I really do.
I agree. All right, so I think that's going to wrap up our episode. Any questions, Derek? You good? You got anything else you want to add?
Oh man, I don't know if I got any questions right off the top of my head here, but I wish you all the best, and I hope, unlike the Colts, I hope that y'all stay healthier than we have been, because that's what I was saying. I was joking about it in a video. I think 2 days ago, I was saying, please, for the love of God, can we please just get through this preseason game without any more serious injuries? Just please. I'm praying to God that happens.
Right. So, hey, before we get out of here, let the people know where they can find your channel, just in case any kind of Colts fans or what they watching this, they aren't following you. I'm pretty sure they're already following you, but if they're not, let them know where they can find your channel.
Appreciate it. You guys can find us on Bring the Juice Colts podcast on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Derek_Larger for me. The podcast Twitter at BTJ Pod. Want to thank Panthers Nation Podcast for having me on tonight.
Hey, appreciate that, man. I thank you guys. It was kind of a last minute thing. We decided to go ahead and bring you guys on. We had some logistics issues to figure out, but appreciate you guys coming on, man. That being said, Rashad and Dave, we up out of here, man. Again, catch us on the live stream on Sunday. We'll be play by play, live reacting to it as we did last year.
For my Patreon people, 4:00 tomorrow, I'm going live to go over my fantasy rankings. So you got time to still become a Patreon, because I'm going live, and I'm going to have you guys be able to ask questions, and I'll answer them in regards to my rankings, whether you agree or disagree. 4 p.m. tomorrow.
Yep. All right, man. That being said, man, we getting up out of here. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you already done so, and we out of here. All right. Peace.